Today I bring you a revelation that will shake the foundations of your reality. The police are about to do something incredible, but before I tell you what will happen, I want you to feel the weight of what I just said. Because I warn you, not everyone is ready to hear what's coming. But you are, because divine justice has been activated, and those who try to destroy you will pay dearly for their dark deeds. They thought they'd get away with it, but now the punishment is near. The police. Yes, the police have cornered them. One by one, the 5 who conspired against you are being hunted. Karma is turning against them, and divine justice has surrounded them. Today the cards, those that travel through the energy of the universe, bring an important message. An urgent message. A message that will change your destiny if you choose to listen. Today, the shadows of your past rise up, like a hidden army in the gloom. 5 dark souls wove themselves around you, conspiring non-stop, waiting for the perfect moment to destroy your life. 5 souls who wish to see you fallen, ruined, overflowing with despair. They didn't tell you their names, they didn't whisper them in your ear, but they were there in silence, watching, waiting, moving the pieces against you. Their hearts, full of venom and envy, wove dark plans with dirty hands. They wanted to see you empty of strength, empty of light, empty of love. They wanted to take away what you value most. They wanted to strip you of your peace, your money, your happiness. They wanted to destroy everything you love. No matter how much you cried in silence, no matter how much you fought, they were determined. Destroying you was their goal. The angel Saint Gabriel invites you to receive this revelation. What is happening now is just the beginning of your spiritual transformation. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Hit the like button and in the comments write, "The light covers me at all times." This way you will activate your eternal protection, just as the angels request. And how are they doing it? With spells, with deep darkness rituals, with witchcraft, and sacrifices that they performed in secret, hidden from the world burials, bindings in tombs, invocations to the beings of the shadows. They did it in the hope that you would never know. They believed that their wickedness would remain buried in time, but they hadn't counted on something. You, brave soul, illuminated soul, carry within you a divine spark that they could never extinguish. The light that accompanies you is stronger than all the darkness they try to bring upon you. While you were living your life, they were weaving their web from the shadows. Without you knowing it, they were invoking the demons of darkness to come and steal your strength, to ruin your luck. But today the universe has decided to reveal the truth to you. The cards speak to me like a mirror of the soul, showing everything that has been hidden in the darkness. Today, everything will come to light. What happened? What the 5 who conspired against you? What each one of them received as punishment for wishing you harm? Listen closely, because this is the moment of revelation. In their minds, they believed they were weaving their victory, that they could change the course of your destiny. They thought that by casting spells, by performing binding after binding, by bringing envy and hatred upon you, they would be the owners of your life. They believed that you would fall, that your light would go out, and that the universe, that infinite force, would belong to them. Saint Michael, the celestial warrior, speaks to you with his sword of light. The truth is your shield and justice is your sword. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because the divine power will surround you. Like and comment, "My soul is invincible." Let this act be your seal of protection. But what they didn't know is that the universe has its own justice. It is not a human system. It is not something they can manipulate with simple invocations of darkness. The celestial judgment is non-negotiable. And you, brave soul, are protected. You always were. Your guardian angels were not asleep. The celestial light that covers you never abandoned you. They, blinded by hatred, did not understand that every time they tried to catch you in their trap, what they were actually doing was strengthening your protection. Every curse they cast, every attempt to break your soul, was an act that only activated the force of the cosmos more in your favor. But what happened to the 5 traitors who plotted in the dark? Each one of them, in trying to destroy you, made a fatal mistake, a mistake they couldn't see coming. Karma does not forget. The universe heard the cry of your soul, saw every tear you shed in silence. It saw the pain, the betrayals, the bad actions, and all the evil they tried to inflict on you. And when karma rises, there is no human power that can stop it. One by one, the 5 received what they deserved. The judgment of the universe fell upon them, and the worst, what they least expected, nobody saw coming. The punishment was more terrible than they could imagine. And what happened to the dark spells? What happened to the witchcraft? They turned against them like a boomerang thrown into the void. Those dark deeds that they sent to you with hatred and malice are now their burden. But the most sinister thing of all this is that each one of them thought they had gotten away with it. They didn't know that they were being watched. That celestial justice was closing the circle around them, while they laughed and celebrated in their arrogance. Now I ask you, are you ready to know what happened to them? Because what I am about to tell you will change everything you thought you knew about divine justice. And when you hear it, you will realize that the universe has done something they never expected. The police. Can you imagine? They thought their actions would remain in the dark, but the punishment came in the form of something much bigger than they ever thought. Soon you will know why Saint Gabriel calls you to awaken, to witness how divine justice pours out upon you. If you haven't activated your channel of light yet, subscribe now and like this video. Write in the comments, "My path is full of light." By doing so, a new dimension of protection and clarity will open before you. The first person, the leader of the conspiracy, the cursed brain behind the dark plot that was woven against you, thought he was untouchable. A man with a facade of a false smile, a kind face for everyone, but behind that mask, a heart full of venom. He was always one step ahead, manipulating, controlling, orchestrating every move, convinced that nothing could touch him. The angel Saint Michael observes you with compassion and invites you to be part of this flow of divine energy. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Like and comment, "I am protected by celestial power." What karma gives you, no one takes away. But as always happens when you face the forces of good, destiny has its own justice. Karma, that unstoppable force that does not forgive, was waiting for its moment and it found it. This man, in his arrogance, decided to take another step on his path of darkness. He thought he could gain power, that he could steal everything from those who had what he desired. He went to a luxury establishment, a place full of wealth and temptations. The loot would be big, something that would increase his influence, his power. With quick hands, with eyes full of greed, he began to load his loot dock, but when he believed he had everything under control, when he thought he could escape with the wealth that would assure him dominance, something unexpected happened. The police burst in like an unstoppable force, like the light that breaks the darkness. The shots began to sound, and with them the cry of justice echoed in the air. The lead flew, fear seized his heart, but his legs no longer responded. In his desperation he tried to flee, to escape, but destiny had already marked his end. Karma, that force he himself had invoked with his bad actions, reached him brutally, mercilessly, gunned down while trying to escape with his hands full of stolen money, with malice in his soul. While he was climbing, his destiny was sealed. A fatal shootout. The lead pierced his body, His life vanished among the bullets. And at that instant something else happened. Something bigger than the shot. Divine justice reached him. He never thought what would happen when he messed with your light. Divine soul. He thought he could defy the laws of the universe, that he could make what didn't belong to him disappear. But he forgot something essential. The light that covers you is invincible. No one can corrupt it. No one can extinguish you. When he approached you, when he tried to cut the divine threads that connect you to the cosmos, the light itself disintegrated him. The universe heard your soul and through its own justice, crushed him mercilessly. Now, what really happened? Why did the police find him at that instant? How could destiny play with him that way? This is just the beginning, because his punishment did not end with his fall. No. His soul is marked for something much darker, something that is still to come. Saint Gabriel, the protector of the righteous, has spoken. Your time of protection and revelation has arrived. If you haven't taken the step to subscribe yet, do it now. Click on like and decree. Divine justice has already manifested. This will activate your channel of light. Soon you will discover what awaits him in the lowest planes of existence. The condemnation was not only physical. What awaits him now goes beyond what the human mind can comprehend. Are you ready to know how his soul will pay for having messed with your light? Because what will happen to him will be darker than this entire reading. And at this very moment, his soul is being dragged towards a destiny he would never have imagined. Stay with me, because what's coming will change everything you thought you knew about celestial justice. The card shows me the truth, revealing the dark details of the second person. A woman who believed she was untouchable, who thought the threads of destiny were under her control. A sorceress, an expert in manipulating souls, in invoking shadowy energies to bend others to her will. Dark rituals, invocations to forces that no one should invoke, bindings, burials in forgotten cemeteries. She was the mistress of darkness. The shadow of her energy spread like a plague. She loved to see the suffering of others, the agony on their faces while she manipulated them, made them dance to the tune of her spells. The suffering of others was her sustenance, her pleasure. She believed that by dominating the souls of others, she dominated the destiny of everyone. No one could escape her net. No one. But in her arrogance she made a fatal mistake. She never imagined what would happen to her when she thought everything was under control. Her confidence blinded her. She thought she could do whatever she wanted, as if the universe were at her feet. She decided to act. She approached a victim, a person who, without knowing it, was protected by forces much more powerful than any she could ever invoke. Invisible guardian angels, beings of light, cosmic forces that cannot be touched by darkness. But she, blinded by her power, didn't see it coming. The Archangel Saint Michael is watching you and has seen your struggle, your strength. He asks you to subscribe, because the light of the angels will only reach you if you make the decision to activate that connection. Hit the like button and write, Divine Justice is already here. Thus celestial energy will cover you completely. On the street she extorted her. She thought she could control her, that her malice would drag her down. But the universe had other plans. The victim was not alone. And at the right moment, the police burst in like a force that came from the very cosmos to stop the evil. And what happened next was a spectacle of justice that only the universe can orchestrate. A fatal shootout, as if the very celestial fury had descended to crush her. The bullets had no compassion. She tried to flee desperately, her soul plagued by malice, but her legs, tired by her bad actions, no longer responded to her. She fell, not like a heroine, not like someone who escaped. She fell like a shattered shadow, broken by the weight of her own spells, by the karma that finally reached her. She took with her all the burden of darkness she had sown, all the hexes she had cast into the universe, all the souls she had manipulated. In the instant her eyes closed forever, the evil she had done returned to her like an impossible-to-avoid echo. But the most sinister thing of all is that she felt your energy at the exact moment destiny reached her. Your light felt it, the pure, blessed energy that covers you, that protected you from her malice. And in that final instant, her soul knew what she did, what she had tried to steal from you. She never thought that in trying to destroy you, she would end up being a victim of her own poison. But do you know what is the most terrifying thing? What comes now is something even darker, something that not even she in her madness could foresee. Divine justice is unleashing right now, as ordered by Saint Gabriel. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now so you can activate your celestial protection. Like and comment. The light guides me always. By doing so, you will see how everything in your life aligns towards harmony. Because there is something much beyond physical death, spiritual condemnation. And her soul now belongs to something more terrible. What the police don't know, what the world doesn't know, is that her soul is being dragged. But where to? Who will receive her in the astral plane? You will know very soon. And her destiny is just a warning to the others. What happens when you play with the divine light? Soon, very soon, the last of the 5 souls will face an even more powerful justice than what you have seen so far. And the end will be unimaginable. Stay with me because the most frightening revelation is about to arrive. The cards now reveal the destiny of the 3rd conspirator. A man who never knew the meaning of compassion. A being who enjoyed seeing the suffering of others. The cruelest of all. The one who gloated over the pain of the souls that fell under his power. Believing that evil was his ally, that darkness was his queen. He thought he could do whatever he wanted, that the rules of the universe did not apply to him, that evil would never have consequences. But the universe does not forget. Karma always collects, and when you least expect it, it reaches you. And it was in his last attempt, in his desperation to obtain more power, when the scales of justice tilted against him. This man, confident, believed that destiny was already in his favor. He approached a group of businessmen with the intention of stealing everything they had built. Everything that was theirs. He thought he could snatch away their effort, their work, without anything or anyone stopping him. But destiny, that invisible force that does not forgive, played him in the cruelest way. While he was preparing to take everything from them, to seize their wealth, a shot hit him in the side. A precise shot, as if the guardian angels had indicated the exact moment his soul should be claimed. He tried to flee like a pursued rat, but he couldn't. His legs, those that had led him to so many acts of darkness, no longer responded to him. Justice reached him in the fastest and fiercest way. Gunned down on the spot, while his dreams of power and money vanished into the air. His dreams of domination and wealth disintegrated like dust beneath his feet. Saint Michael has spoken and has brought you this message of light and justice. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, so your energy is under the protective mantle of the angels. Like and decree in the comments, "My soul is marked by the light." Thus the angels will be with you every step of the way. In his last breath, in his last sigh, as his life faded like a shadow in the middle of the street, he felt the weight of his wickedness. He felt the weight of all the suffering he had caused. He felt the gaze of the angels, of those who watched him as his soul tore apart. It was at that precise moment on the threshold of death when his soul broke. And then something no one expected happened. In his agony, with blood staining his clothes and life escaping between his fingers, he repented. He repented of everything, of every soul he had destroyed, of every suffering he had caused. In his final moments, he begged you for forgiveness. From death itself, his trembling voice, broken by pain and repentance, begged you for forgiveness. What he never thought, what he never imagined, is that his acts of malice would lead him to this destiny. But what did this mean? Is it possible for someone as evil as him to find redemption? What happens to the soul of a man who seeks forgiveness in his last breath? Will his repentance be enough for the light to reach him? The answer is darker than you imagine. What happened after his death was something that not even the angels could predict. Something sinister. Something terrible. Saint Gabriel, the messenger angel, tells you that your light will be the force that will conquer all evil. If you haven't activated your connection with the divine yet, subscribe now, like and comment. My light is invincible. Let this word be a decree of protection and power. And the worst thing is that his repentance may not be enough, because even though he seeks salvation, the evil he sowed has a price, and his soul is trapped in a net of darkness that now belongs to him. The end is about to arrive, because while his soul rides in the darkness, there is something else that no one has seen coming, a punishment that goes beyond death itself. Are you ready to know where his soul goes? Stay here with me, because soon, very soon, the answer will arrive and surprise you more than you imagine. The deck vibrates, the air thickens, and the cards, as if they had a life of their own, ask me to turn over one more. The fourth person, a woman who believed she could move the pieces of life at her whim, sowing discord, separating friends, destroying families, now reveals herself to you. She, the master of lies, who wove intrigues and enmities where there was once harmony, thought that the control was hers. She thought she could manipulate the hearts of people, separating the bonds that united loved ones, destroying trust, making everything she touched turn to ashes. Discord was her ally, hatred her tool, and in her mind there were no consequences. Nothing would touch her, nothing would stop her. But like fire, the darkness she sowed had a cost. The universe does not forget. Karma has an eternal memory, and in its time the truth will come to light. What she didn't imagine is that her day of fall was much closer than she thought. Archangel Saint Michael with his sword of light invites you to close cycles and open new doors. If you haven't subscribed yet, this is the moment. Click on the like button and write in the comments, "My soul is protected." The universe will bless you because divine justice is already underway. In her last attempt to rob a group of tourists, innocent people who were heading towards a bright future, justice arrived with fury. As she tried to snatch away what didn't belong to her, she thought she could escape, that nothing would catch her. But the universe has a way of acting, and that way cannot be avoided. The instant she thought she had succeeded, the police burst in with a speed that neither she nor her bad energies could foresee. The darkness she herself invoked surrounded her, but in that instant the light reached her. The shots echoed in the air, and like a shadow that vanishes before the first ray of sunshine, she fell. She fell to the ground on her knees before the weight of her bad actions. Her life vanished among a fog of justice. A life of betrayals, lies, and hatred. Everything she had sown returned to her like a boomerang of pain. Karma never forgot her name, and in her final moments, as life faded from her body, a scream escaped her throat. A scream that resonated in the depths of her soul. She cried not from physical pain, but from a deeper pain, a spiritual pain. She cried for every soul she had destroyed, for every lie she had launched, for every relationship she had broken. She cried because she knew there would be no return. In that final instant, her soul, marked by darkness, was dragged toward the eternal fire, that place where shadows feed on guilt and remorse. And she asks you for something now from that place without light. She asks you to pray for her. Her condemned and lost soul cries in the eternal fire, seeking a pinch of redemption, a redemption that may never come. Saint Gabriel whispers in your ear. He tells you that it is the moment of revelation. If you haven't done it yet, Subscribe, because only then will you activate the protective shield that surrounds you. Like and comment, I am protected by celestial light. Let this action connect you with the highest and most powerful. But can your prayer save her? Can lost souls find peace? What happens to her soul is not the most terrifying thing. What awaits her beyond death is even darker. The twist is about to arrive, because what she doesn't know, what she never imagined, is that she will not be the only one who will pay a price for the dark acts she committed. Not everything ends with her fall. The eternal fire is only the beginning of something bigger that is about to break loose. What awaits her is worse than death itself. And when the cards show it to me, something else ignites in the air, something deeper. You'll know soon. And when you know, you will understand that karma does not end with a shot or with a repentant cry. What lies ahead is much darker, much deeper. Stay with me, because the next twist will change everything you thought you knew about celestial justice. And there are still more souls to fall. The deck vibrates. The cards reveal the truth to me. The last cursed one, the lowest of them all, the one who was in charge of doing the dirty work, the one who never questioned, the one who never doubted, always willing to sell his soul for a little money. He didn't care about the price he paid. He only wanted more, always more. He believed that evil would have no consequences. He thought he could bleed others, steal their peace, and still walk free among the shadows. But destiny, that force that always arrives when you least expect it, had other plans for him. This man was nothing more than a lapdog of evil, a soulless executioner who fed on the suffering of others. His life was an act of constant betrayal, a sacrifice of his own humanity in the name of easy money. Extorting, manipulating, threatening, all in order to gain more, in order to immerse himself more in the darkness. He thought he was untouchable. He believed that the universe would never reach him. Today, the angel Saint Michael guides you and tells you, the power of justice will be unleashed when you open your heart. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because only the divine fire can activate the path of light that is waiting for you. Hit the like button and write in the comments, "My light does not go out." Thus the universe will begin to respond with all its force. But that confidence blinded his vision. In his last act of desperation, when greed dominated his soul, he decided to attack someone else. Someone who, without knowing it, was under the protection of forces that neither he nor his cursed rituals could challenge. On a dark street where shadows mix with gloom, he approached his new victim. He thought it would be easy. He thought he could take everything, without consequences, without anyone seeing him. But destiny, the one who never forgets, had already marked him. At that instant, the police burst in like a blinding light that banishes the shadows. He was surrounded. He couldn't escape. He tried to take out his weapon, but at that moment the gunfire began. The shots echoed in the darkness. Divine fury was unleashed. He, a thug, a man marked by evil, became an easy target, a sacrifice to justice. Gunned down with no possibility of escape. His life vanished while his dreams of power and money faded like ashes in the wind. Evil never pays with the same gold it seeks, and he knew it in his last breath. He saw before he died the face of true power. Divine justice, the one that cannot be corrupted by money or by the suffering of others. In that last second, when his eyes could no longer see, when his soul detached from his body, he saw how the universe had claimed him, how evil never wins. Karma reached him like an invisible force that mercilessly swept him away. And at that very instant he knelt, not before the police, not before any human being, but before the divine light. He knelt before you in spirit, recognizing his guilt, his condemnation, his fall into the abyss. He begs your forgiveness from the depths of the underworld, from the deepest condemnation. But can you forgive him? Do his acts, his curses, his sacrifices of souls deserve forgiveness? His soul will not find peace. Divine justice is much more than a shootout on a dark street. What he has sown will take him to places where time does not exist, where repentance is not enough. Hell does not forget, and darkness will claim him in a way much more terrible than any physical suffering. And what will you do with this revelation? With this last evildoer who finally recognizes himself as guilty before the force that surpasses him? Because what comes is not the end of his story. What comes is the beginning of his eternal torment. The twist is in the air. What happens next will be much darker than you can imagine. I invite you to stay here with me, because when their actions are so dark, the price is not a quick shot. The price is much more painful. You will know soon. What they didn't know, what those cursed conspirators never imagined, is that your life was marked long before their dirty hands decided to play with your destiny. Your soul was chosen by something much bigger, more powerful than any dark spell, than any binding, than any hellish ritual they tried to weave around you. The Archangel Saint Michael, the celestial warrior, protected you at all times, and what they thought would be their victory, what they believed would be your final downfall, was nothing more than an empty trap. Their wickedness, although dark, although poisonous, crashed against a wall of light. Saint Michael's divine sword cut the threads of their evil deeds before they could reach you, before their malice could even touch your soul. They will never know what stopped them. They won't understand that when they invoked those dark shadows, when they brought that poison into your life, what they really brought was divine fury. They thought they could sink your spirit, that they could undo the bonds that united you to love, to peace, to celestial light. But what they didn't know is that you were not vulnerable as they believed. You were a lighthouse, an unbreakable light that shone brightly, even in the midst of the shadows they wanted to surround you with. The sword of the Archangel, Saint Michael, cut each of their spells, broke the bindings they tried to cast on you, disintegrated the burials they made in the darkness to trap you, the base rituals with which they tried to consume your energy, to drag you into their world of shadows, were nothing before the power of the celestial light that envelops you. Saint Michael not only protected you, he took you in like an impenetrable shield. He covered you, surrounded you, and before their shadows could approach you, they were already banished, already defeated, already erased from the astral plane. They have no idea what they faced. They don't know who is really behind you. But that power, that invisible force that surrounds you, goes beyond what they can understand. It is the power of heaven itself, the divine power that rises when you invoke it, when you need it. It is an ancient power that has protected the chosen ones since time immemorial. Your soul is marked by that light, and they tried everything. Dark works, love bindings, voodoo, hexes on witchcraft altars. But all that was nothing before the fury of the Archangel Saint Michael. Do you realize what this means? It was not just a matter of luck. It was not just a coincidence. The universe chose you, and Saint Michael himself, the celestial warrior, intervened directly in your life. He cut the ties of their darkness. He undid them as if they were fragile threads that could not even withstand his touch. They thought that by invoking dark forces, by sinking into bloody rituals and pacts with shadows, they could control you. But it was their own darkness that consumed them, that banished them from your path. Now they have nothing more than their malice. Their karma has begun to collect the bill, and the worst thing of all is that they don't know who they have really defied. They don't know that by touching your light, what they did was awaken an ancient power that they can never dominate. And what will you do now? Do you know that your soul is protected? That you are a blessed being under the celestial light? You are marked by the power that they cannot even comprehend. And what lies ahead is nothing more than an even greater revelation. What you have lived through so far is just a test, because what is coming is much bigger. And while they continue to fight against shadows that no longer have power, you continue to advance, advancing towards your destiny, towards that unstoppable light that they cannot stop. They believed they could play with the shadows, that they could weave dark spells, malicious bindings, rites of darkness and evil. But they forgot the most important thing, the most fundamental thing in this divine universe. The universe always responds, always balances, always does justice. And although they tried to immerse you in darkness, to extinguish you with their hexes and betrayals, the light always prevails, the light that you have within you. You are a being of light. You are here to live, to shine, to keep advancing, no matter how many attempts at destruction they have launched against you, no matter how many rituals, how many burials, how much shadow they try to approach. The angels have been with you. Saint Michael has protected you. Your shield is made of light, and every time evil tries to approach you, justice is unleashed like a ray of divine fire. And what karma gives, no one takes away. Do you feel it? Do you perceive it? If you are seeing this, if these words reach your heart, it is because the angel of justice is with you. It is not a coincidence. Your light has been protected from the beginning, and what they have attempted against you has already been retaliated by the universe. Evil will never prevail because you are marked by the celestial light. It's time to activate your protection. Write your name in the comments. Decree now with strength and conviction. My light does not go out. It is a decree, a divine pact that you make with the universe. Your light does not go out because the power of divine justice has been unleashed. Karma has already done its work. What they did against you has already been paid for. The price has been collected and you are still here, stronger than ever, more radiant, more illuminated than ever. Your soul shines with an unstoppable force, because what evil tried to steal from you, it could not do. They could not extinguish you. They could not destroy you. The divine force that surrounds you is invincible. The angels have covered you, and today is a day of justice. Today, at this very moment, the universe has spoken, and those who wanted to see you fall have fallen. They have paid the price for their actions, and the payment has been severe. There is no turning back for them. Because when you play with the shadows, when you cast curses, when you invoke dark forces to destroy the light, karma does not forgive. The universe has its own law, and that law will always protect you. It will never abandon you. Your soul is marked by the light.